Hello, I am joined by Sandy Singh, and you are welcome to the Crick Fan Corner channel. He is a big Rajasthan Royals fan, and you may visit his Instagram profile also, and I will put it in the description box. Sandy Singh, how do you see the Rajasthan Royals performance? Because today it looked like that Josh Butler did not perform, and it looked like that top order failure. How do you see the top order failure? Do you think Yashasvi Jaiswal deserves a chance instead of Manan Gowda?
Interesting question. Again, today we look at the match. Today, the match was lost in the first 6 overs. Our last match was lost in the first 6 overs. Previous to that, the one we won it in the first 6 overs. So it's very difficult to pinpoint something on this. On the Yashasvi Jaswal question, yes, Yashasvi should be playing, but for me, not as the opener. I think today we've probably seen Shivam Dubey mark the spot as an opener for us, because all we need to do is last 6 overs without losing a wicket. If we can do that, then we can set a base where we can build up on today, like we saw today with Virat and they've not they built that base. So even if they had lost the wicket after the 10th over, 11th over, they would have had De Villiers and they would have had Maxwell in the shed, which makes the run scoring a lot easier. Today, again, I wanted us to chase. Yeah, I wanted us to chase before. I didn't want us to bat first. The selection was all wrong. Shreyas Gopal shouldn't have been playing, in my humble opinion, because his record in the last IPL and this IPL with the ball hasn't been great. And he's going for 9 to 10 and over. And again, just because he's got Virat out a couple of times is not a great method to make a decision on that. Seeing how well Siraj and Jamieson bowled with the new ball, you had Fizz, you had obviously Sakaria, you had again any other bowler to bowl there. Yeah, it would have been fine. But and why Jaydev and Adkata wasn't playing, I don't know, because he's performed in the last game, even with it was with the bat. I can't believe why they dropped him to put in Shreyas Gopal on a Mumbai wicket, which is no turn. If it was Chepuk, I would understand, but to play him on Mumbai on that wicket, I really didn't understand that decision.
I would like to ask you, what's wrong with Rajasthan Royals team, because they are not performing from last 2-3 seasons, and their best performance have not came. They are very much dependent last season on Jofra Archer. He was the most valuable player, but now with the unavailability of Jofra Archer and Ben Stokes, they seems like I think they are the worst team of the IPL currently, because they are
no, I disagree with that. The worst team is Punjab Kings. Yeah, they're awful. They're absolutely awful. No strategy, no thing. They brought all these players in with no experience. Against with us, the reason why we're not doing well is we're not learning from the mistakes, and that's simple man management, or what is the coaching, what is the batting coaching, what is the fielding coaching. I can't put my finger on it, but we are not learning from those mistakes. So our first thing from last year, the last IPL, where did it go wrong? Yeah, it went wrong in the opening partnerships. Now Stokes is gone. We've known Stokes is gone. There's no replacement coming in. Jofra, we needed to make a decision on Jofra. Say, Jofra, are you coming or going? If Jofra does not now come, that decision not to replace him becomes even more questionable. So those decisions that we are making are not the right decisions. Today we look at the bowling attack and you think, okay, it's a Mumbai pitch. Yesterday, 220 runs were scored on that pitch. Yeah. And the spinners were ineffective on that pitch. So do you get an extra seam bowler, or do you play Andrew Ty as your foreign bowler, or do you do that? It's a very fine margin for success and failure. And at the moment, we seem to be making the wrong decisions. And I think that's really, really hurting us bad and not giving us a chance, because we do give the young players a lot of opportunities, but they're not grasping them.
Yeah, we have been joined by Ritesh Srivastava. Riteshji, what do you think regarding Devdutt Paddikal innings? Because he was a youngster, uncapped player. You are playing his second season of the IPL. Has been not in the good form for last 2 matches, and then he suddenly comes and plays a big knock, and there was a question regarding his middle overs because he was getting the starts in the power play, but he was throwing his wickets in the middle overs. How do you see his knock?
Yeah, first of all, good evening to you and Mr. Sandy. Um, Definitely, the second season, especially, teams would have studied his technique and tried to get his weakness areas. And the way he has come back after a bad start in the season shows his character. So definitely, it's something which shows his character and temperament. And uh, and like scoring 100, definitely at any level, especially on the T20 level in IPL, that does make head turn. So obviously he's making rapid strides.
That if we just go back to Padikal, and as I say, although it was a good innings, look at the bowling that he was facing. To be fair, I'm going to say it straight. If I was batting, I would love to face that bowling today, and I probably would have ended up scoring double my age, which will be 100. So I know it doesn't sound good, but you have to look at where the bowlers are bowling. And yeah, he had a problem with spin early on in Dubai, and they tried to replicate that. But Dubai is Dubai, 1KD is 1KD. And again, strategy. We allowed him to play that innings today. The field settings, the confidence of the bowling, it was poor. And as I say, any other team, he wouldn't have scored the 100 today. But against us, we gave him that 100. I was probably a bit more impressed with Kohli, to be fair, because Kohli started slowly, but soon as Paddikal hit 85, it was hitting the wall. And then Kohli came in and stepped up, returned the strike, knocked the overruns in, took the pressure off. So Paddikal actually had a breather within his century. So over 2.5, 3 overs, Paddikal wasn't getting any of the strike. He could sit there, relax, contemplate on where he was going wrong, and then build the innings back to get the 100. So I think Kohli has to give massive credit for him to get that century, because the way he manipulated the strike when they've that got stuck, that was it. Because on 2 occasions he nearly hit the fielder. So it was fortunate for him to play Rajasthan Royals today to get that century. But I really think he was handed the century on the plate.
Yes,
Yeah,
Sandy
and
ji, what?
I
Yeah,
think
Ritesh.
Rajasthan strategy has gone awry because they depended a lot on Ben Stokes and Jofra Archer, especially for the initial wickets. And with those two massive losses, they are struggling to fill those holes as such. So they have to do something very quickly
They have to
to
do
come
something
back.
radical. And Ritesh,
Yeah.
I'm 100% with you there. The problem now, they've got any player that they need to get. So I was a big advocate to get Adil Rashid to come in, because Shreyas Gopal is so poor. So I thought if we got Adil Rashid in as the extra foreign player when we play at Chepauk, or when we play at Eden Gardens, or even Ahmedabad, if we got there, having a quality spinner like Adil Rashid would have been really, it was a no-brainer. But again, we didn't go for him. When Stokes is gone, we had Saqib Mahmood, who's a Lancashire player I know really well. I've seen him play live a couple of times as well, and also he did well in the PSL, done well in the Big Bash as well. So Saqib would have been a good bowler for us as well. But we've done nothing. We've just not looked at this strategically and thinking, by the way, we've lost 2 of our foreign players. Liam Livingstone's back on the plane as well. So again,
Hmm.
that's 3 foreign players gone. And what do you do? What do you do? We tried getting Miller in at 3. That didn't work. Sunju getting in and getting out. That didn't work. So again, we everything that we seem to be trying isn't working, and it's not looking good. I'm just thankful Punjab are so awful that we aren't the worst team in the league.
Sandy
Oh,
Baji,
but
what your thoughts
I'm not sure
regarding?
whether they have Ish Sodhi
No,
still
they
in the
don't have
squad,
Yesod. They
and
don't have.
maybe
Ishodi is
they can go
part of the
for Colin
management.
Grandhome.
Part of the management is management consultant, so we might get Ishodi back. But I still prefer Ishodi to Suresh Gopal. But we got
Yeah.
Mayank Makhande sitting there, and Mayank Makhande bowled pretty
Yeah,
well in the Vijayas are in the smat. So why isn't he getting a chance? I don't understand that move. Why Mayank Makhande is not playing and Shreyas Gopal is given all these chances. We can't rely on Tawatia or Parag, but again, 2 to 3 overs of that. is fine, but we still need one quality spinner, and we haven't got that in the team.
Sandeepaji, what's your thoughts on Sanju Samson captaincy so far in this season?
Very disappointed, 100% very disappointed. What disappointed me today was his lack of body language, positive body language on the pitch. I found that quite strange. Maybe he's trying to be too calm and too nice. I don't know, but when he never went up to the bowler, he never went to Josh, who's the next senior player, say, sit there, take some time and think, where's this going wrong? Because I knew after 4 overs or 5 overs when RCB were 42 or 43 for 0, the game had gone. The game had completely been gone in 6 overs. So I said, there's no way we're going to come back. And I was even predicting that we were going to lose within 16 overs. So it was disappointing to say the least. But again, we've got to think whose strategy is it? Is it Sanju Samson's captaincy on the pitch, or this a wider strategy where we're saying Shreyas Gopal, one, he plays, secondly, he opens the bowling, which was completely the wrong move.
Riteshji, what's your thought regarding the question asked by Chris Gonsalves that Sanju Samson inconsistency? In 2019, he had a fantastic 2 innings. In 2020, again, he has a fantastic 2 innings in Sharjah. Then again, we saw him getting 100, and then he just again puts up an inconsistent performance. What are your thoughts about Sanju Samson, the batsman?
Unfortunately, I would agree that's the case because Sanju got his chance in Indian team way back in 2015, and he has not been able to cement his place even after 6 years. And likes of Rishabh and Ishan have gone ahead of the queue because of this reason itself, actually. Because always, that's become the trend. He has 1 or 2 very fantastic innings, and then he tapers off. And that's been the trend for last few seasons. So that's why he's not been able to cement his place. And
as
somehow
I said, the thing is, he looks $1 million, but it ends up being 100 rupees. Yeah, because that's what happens with him. He'll have the $1 million knock, and then straight after, it's like we looked today. He knocked the 6 or the 4, the brilliant shot that he knocked, and then I just had something in my stomach that saying, something, he's going to get out. He's going to get out, and he's not going to get out. And it's not him getting out, it's the way he's getting out. Because you saw today, he just lobbed the ball up to mid-off. I think it was mid-off. And he was just a straight shot. And you look, 9 out of 10, you just play it on a straight bat, let the ball go. You've knocked a 6 or you've knocked a 4. You don't need to do anything else. Just rotate the strike, get a single, take a deep breath. So you're 30, you're 19 for 4, whatever, 19 for 2 or 30, 20 for 2. You've lost Josh Butler. You now have to say, I've got to stay here to at least the 12th over. And he gets out on 21. It's unacceptable. There's nothing more I can say but saying that, yes, once a mistake, you can, but this is a constant pattern now of, one great shot and then over getting out in the next ball after the great shot. That doesn't show mental.
Riteshji, what's your thoughts regarding RCB? Because last season, again, they performed well, goes to the playoffs at the 4th position. They lost at the playoffs. But this season, they have got 4 wins out of 4 matches. This seems a new RCB because Indian course performing, Devdutt perform, Sahbaz perform, Harshal Patel performing at the death overs. How do you see this current RCB lineup?
Definitely, RCB is putting a strong campaign this time around, and especially this season they have got a lot of things right in there. So and they'll get tested in there. Virat also having the confidence of international wins against England and Australia as a team, Indian team. Probably that's also played a good role. They beat a very good England side in the ODIs and T20s also. So that confidence is also coming up in his captaincy, so to speak. So those kind of things are making RCB a very good, formidable team this time around. And
I'm not confident, Ritesh. To be fair, I've not really seen anything different. What's different in this IPL is they've got this start. Like he won the toss today. Soon as he won the toss today, you knew they were going to chase, and you knew RCB. We weren't going to set them the total. So even if you look at the three games, the first game they had an undercooked Mumbai Indians. Yeah, Mumbai Indians were undercooked in that game, and the other two games they've won the toss again, and they've selected the right decision. But you look at the team, Chahal is going to be a massive problem for RCB because he's not performing. Washington Sundar is an average spinner for me. I said the wicket he took off Sanju today. I just couldn't understand how Sanju could get out to him. It was bad. And then you look at the Harshal Patel. I think he's an average player, average bowler at best. He's just at the purple patch. And then the other foreign player we had today is Kane Richardson. He's expensive. Where they've done well is Maxwell and Jameson. Maxwell, Jameson, ABDV, and obviously Paddikal. Paddikal played well today, but again, it was less of his brilliance and it was more ineptness or impotency in the Rajasthan Royals bowling, which allowed him to do that. So overall, as I said, they played Delhi in a one-off game. Yeah, I would always favour Delhi to beat them. If they play Mumbai Indians when the heat is on, I fancy Mumbai Indians to beat them in the one-off game. And if they play Sunrisers, in a one-off game, I think that will be a close battle. But if Sunrise pick the right team, I think Sunrisers will beat them. So I'm not really, as I say, I'm not jumping on the high horse for RCB. I really don't think. I still think they're a 7 out of 10 team, and the other ones are better.
But they always had the good batting. It's the bowling which was always the issue. So I think, some point I'll agree, but Chahal is coming back in form. I do expect him to get his form back by the time the IPL.
His form will come back when TikTok is allowed back in India. That's my view. Since the TikTok has been banned, since he's got married, he's got more tension. He's getting older quicker since he's got married. So Dineshri is now cheering the flag, and he's not performing. So,
but he's a smart bowler. He's a smart bowler. Yeah,
I think that's the reason why he's not performing. But you look at the other teams. I say you look at Delhi, and Delhi is the team that I look at. But Chris Wokes definitely improves their team. No Chase got to come in, definitely improves their team. Avesh Khan has come in. He's done well. So you look at Avesh Khan and Harshal Patel. I know Harshal Patel has taken most of the wickets, but I've been more impressed with Avesh Khan. So you look at the Delhi team and you think, yeah, maybe they are there. But again, the problem with every team is the 3, 4, 5 position, and those positions have been most problematic to most teams, and that's where at the moment RCB have the best 4 and 5 in the IPL.
We have been joined by Keshav Bhai. Keshav Bhai, how do you see that with regards to Devdutt Paddikal? He played an outstanding innings, maiden century. How do you see, because his problem was the middle overs, where he was not scoring with a good run rate. He was playing single doubles, but he was not attacking and he was throwing his wicket. How do you see his knock today?
Yeah, very impressed. Of course, last season he was the highest run getter for RCB, but his strike rate was a problem. I think he was striking at 122 around that. But today to see him get 100 out of just like 50 odd balls, 51, 52 balls. So it's a refreshing change, but also, you have to admit the fact that it's also there's other factors as well. A very flat pitch, which is probably the best in the tournament. A very toothless sort of attack for this pitch again, which is another truth. So these are combination of factors. If this 100 would have come at some place like a Chennai pitch, a pitch where batsmen have been struggling, or against maybe a much more quality opposition, then probably we would have rated it much more higher, and we could have then analyzed whether he has improved any part of his game, whether he has worked on those skill sets where his strike rate was being questioned last year. But I think with all due respect, even with the knock he played today, we should not just overrate him as well, because of the quality of the opposition and the conditions that he got today.
100% Kashyap, I totally agree with you. And I don't know if you've listened, I said exactly the same thing. If I was batting against Rajasthan Royals attack today, I would choose Mumbai out of every pitch. And to be fair, I would double my age, so I would have got the 100. So that's basically where I think you are 100. If this was against the Delhi attack, yeah,
Yeah.
even on Mumbai, I would say yeah, it's probably a good. I think even if it was against Chahar and Chennai attack, which I've been quite impressed with, really. That then you would say yeah, and then also Sunrisers against Rashid Khan. Rashid Khan opening the spin bowling rather than Shreyas Gopal. You would say that, but yeah, it was like the match started with them 30 to 40 runs below par. Rajasthan were 30 runs under par. So the match had gone after 6 overs. After 6 overs, you know what the result was. The batsman can then relax, play his shots, knowing where the field is and just picking them off, and that's what he did. He played some wonderful shots, but I still think the problem was it was against a ruthless attack.
Yeah, and I
Sandy,
think
yeah,
even Punjab's attack, if you analyze, Punjab and Rajasthan seem to be, two of the worst teams this year. And you can't really blame Rajasthan that much because they lost players to injuries or Liam leaving stun. But it's a bit unlucky for them. For
Yeah.
Punjab, I think the problems are different. They have the resources, but probably they didn't have the right buys at the auction table itself. They couldn't form that 11 on the auction table. But for RR, it's probably a bit unlucky to miss out on their star players. So that's why I think even if this RR with Stokes and Archer was there, and if Paddikal had scored these runs against somebody like an Archer, who would be bowling 4 overs every game, then still you can rate that 100 a bit more higher up in his career. But I think the kind of player he is, what we saw today or what we saw last season, even if better teams come against him on this particular pitch, he would still be scoring runs, I guess.
Yeah, and
yeah,
I agree with you there. And I think this innings is going to be the making of Devdutt Patikal, because now, as soon as you got the century off your back, you've got a 100 in an IPL match. I don't think Kohli has 100 in the IPL. Am
yeah.
I?
He has 400.
He
He has
hasn't
got
scored 100 yet.
400s. Yeah, he has scored 400s
Oh, he
in one
scored
season
400.
only.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh no, he's not scored 100 for a T20 for India. Sorry,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've
at
got
international level.
I've got slightly confused there. But you look at the 100 he scored. How many players of his age have scored the 100? And it's definitely going to elevate him to the next level. And I think if RCB they will have faith in him and they will retain him as one of their right to matches definitely next year. But they'll hope he doesn't make the Indian team before the auction, because otherwise that will cause
Yeah,
problems. So realistically, as I said, we look at the two teams today, and Kashyap is bang on. If Archer was playing, Stokes was playing, Unadkat was playing, I would give it a bit more. I'd give it a bit more credence. But today we got found out badly. We had two left-hand Fizz and Sikaria. Why Karthik Tyagi isn't playing, I don't know. And why Mike Makande was not selected over Gopal is a massive question for the management.
Keshabai, what do you think? Who can be the replacement of Jofra, Stokes, and Livingston? This question is asked by Abhinav Kondelia. What do you think?
See, there are a few options, but as I've heard that the condition in UK is also not that great, so the players from there, it might be a bit difficult to get them here. And now even India has been put on the red list, so you can't. You have to have a 10-day quarantine as well after coming here. If you go to other countries, there is Devon Conway, but I've been told that even he is in England now preparing for the England Test series with the New
Yeah,
Zealand Test team. So what other options? You can go to South Africa. Probably there is Rassie van der Dussen. There is Marnus Labuschagne, who could be a like-for-like replacement for Liam Livingstone, because he's a top-order batsman, can bowl a bit of leg spin. He's been in amazing touch even in the Sheffield Shield. So there are options, but at this stage of tournament where you have already lost 3 out of your 4 games, and even That one game that they won, it was only because of Chris Morris alone. So it's tough to make such calls, because now the players who are actually playing for them, Butler, Miller, Morris, and Mustafizur, if you see their performances, the performances have come in patches. Like, everyone has at least one good match to remember. So even if they sign somebody else, I don't think it will be fair to drop any of them right now, because you have to give them a bit of a fair run, and maybe evaluate after you have reached the half point stage. The only option right now in the team is, in terms of foreigner players, I think Andrew Ty. So that is one option, but even he's a bit of a run leaker for me.
Yeah,
I think someone like Colin Munro or Martin Guptill can be a replacement of Liam Livingstone, and
not
they are.
really. No, I can't see Martin Guptill. I've watched
But there's
Martin.
no space. There's no space in the top order, right?
There's no space in
If
the top order. The
yeah,
only
No, they
if
have.
you
the only position we have, we need
yeah
somebody who can strengthen the bowling and can bat. That's that's the
yeah, I
issue.
think
So
they need somebody in the middle order, and they need somebody in the bowling department.
I
we
think
should have
they
gone
need.
for Jason Roy instead of Liam Livingston. We should have gone for
No,
Jason Roy
Jason
in the
Roy
next
has
one.
been picked by Sunrisers Hyderabad as
Yeah,
a
I know
replacement,
exactly, and
so they
we
can't
should have
go
gone for
for
Jason
Jason Roy.
Roy instead
Yeah.
of Liam Livingston. We should have picked Jason Roy in the first place because again, opening has always been a problem. So even if you then drop Butler into fourth position, which is probably the better position for him now, that was the thing. But Vora, yeah, Rolando Seven, definitely Vora's at his chime. But again, what we need to do is we've got Akash Singh, who's not played one single IPL game, a very exciting left arm bowler, a quick left arm bowler. We should give him a chance. We should definitely bring Yashasvi back, but not as an opener, as probably number 4, and then promote either Dubey or Parag up the order, and they can eat as many balls as they like at the start, and then get their touch in, and then tee off after say 8 or 9 overs. So I think we've got to have faith with our Indian players. I don't think if we wanted to make these moves, we should have made them 2 weeks ago, and we should have got a replacement for Jofra, because Jofra, it's very unlikely that he's going to play, and that's going to cost us, at least 2 to 3 games.
Is Dayal frozen, or is that an expression that he has held for so long?
That's yeah. It looks like he's holding the expression like in disbelief of what we're saying, but it's true.
I
As
think
saying,
I think he's in disbelief that you want Yashasvi to play in the middle order and not open if Manan Vora is dropped.
exactly. The only reason why we want that is obviously because the problem is Yashasvi is a bit impetuous at the start of the innings. So therefore, we need to. Our biggest problem is losing the wickets in the first 6. So every game you look at it, we're 2 down within the first 6 to 7 overs, and you can't sustain that when you're chasing or when you're setting a target. Like today, I was thinking we will be lucky to get to 140, and it's only because Dubey, Parag, and Tawatia, they came to the party that we got to 177. But even then, at 177, I thought we were at least 30 runs short of par. So again, if we get Yashasvi in at opener, what I'm scared of is he will get out quickly, and then that will put us in exactly the same position had Manan Vora been playing there. Whereas if we
don't you think the kind of gameplay that Yashasvi has, it's more of a very orthodox and conservative type of a batsman. That way, actually, opening slot will suit him more rather than coming in the middle order.
It could do, but the problem is, I say, for us is where because we've got Joss and we've got Sanju. As soon as those 2 wickets go, there's very little that we can solve in the middle order unless the Wati comes in. He likes to take the time of getting settled and then teeing off. Today he was a bit better because he was on. He scored 10 of 3 or 4 runs or 4 balls, so that was the big difference. But it's a difficult one, and I say, have we got a confident, informed Josh Butler, a confident, informed Sanju Samson? Then I say Yashasvi he should open, and then you can have the right hand, left hand combination up the top, which is also good.
So there's a comment. Somebody said Rajasthan can try Anuj Rawat, and they've also suggested Glenn Phillips, Alzaris Joseph, and Ashton Turner for the replacements.
Ashton Turner, complete waste of space. Didn't do anything. Alzari Joseph, one season wonder. Can't see what he'll bring to the party. We might have been bought Carlos Brathwaite, but Carlos Brathwaite is coming from my local team, which is Warwickshire. So he's going to be playing for us in the T20s. So and Anuj Rawat, definitely he could have gone. Maipur Lomro played really well last time. He gives us a spin option. Then we got Akash. And we got one of the new bowlers as well. So we've got another young guy that we brought in the auction as well.
It's an out of the box thinking.
I think with regards to you were talking about, I think Anuj Rawat. He's an exciting talent. Why is Rajasthan not trying him in place of Manan Vohra?
Yeah.
Another out of the box pick could be they could look at Hanuma Bihari. I mean, he's an Indian international. He can bowl.
He's playing for Warwickshire. He's playing for my local team, so I'll see Hanuma when I go back to Edgbaston. So hopefully I'll be able to speak to Hanuma when I go and see him. I've been speaking to his agent, and I said if he needs anything whilst he's here, and he's playing tomorrow. He'll be playing tomorrow. So. Yeah, I did pick Viari as one of my outside picks in the auction because we do need that Indian batsman who could do something in the middle order or stabilize the innings. So at the moment we don't have a stabilizer in the team, and that's a big problem.
One point I will raise that why don't we try Sanju Samson as an opener and put Shivam Dube at number 3 because he has got at number 3 he has got an international 50 against West Indies. So why not Shivam Dube at number 3 and Mahipal Lomror at number 4?
Yeah, then where do you play Joss? Where do you play Joss? That's the point.
Joss can open in place of Manan Vohra. I am talking about in place of Manan Vohra.
Yeah,
you
but
can open with
the problem then you have. So this is the issue. What we have, if you lose one of Joss or Sanju early, or if both of them, we lose them before the 6th over, then you're knocking 40 runs off our total. So I'd like a buffer. I agree with you. Maybe have Parag or have today we said Dube, have them opening with Joss, and they just rotate the strike and just stay there to the 6th or 7th over, and then start playing some shots which will allow Sanju to come in. So if Sanju
the reason you can't play Sanju and Joss at the top together is because now they are the only 2 best batsmen in the team, right? Others are bits and pieces kind of batsmen, be it Parag, be it others. So the problem, you could have maybe done this if Stokes was there, so that you have somebody down the order. But if you put Sanju and Joss together to open, it won't work this time. So you have to have a bit of gap between them. So maybe 1 down or 2 down. You need one of them at least to be there during the middle overs.
And that's where we're losing the match. We're losing the games because we are losing them, both of them, before the 8th or 9th over.
That's what RCB did, right? They have now separated Kohli and AB, and they have put Maxwell in there. In between, there is a Devdutt as well. So now they're getting the success. So probably going forward, I'm sure they will retain both Sanju and Joss in the coming season. So they need to fill those slots in between, and they need to separate them.
100% Kashyap. Can't agree with more on that one.
What's your thoughts regarding, I think, Kane Richardson, because he was replaced, Rajat Patidar was replaced by Kane Richardson. Do you think that was a right move by RCB? It did not hurt today, but do you think in upcoming future matches, Kane Richardson should not be picked in place of Rajat Patidar?
No, I know. As I said, personally, I think the bigger problem, if they want to go for the 3 foreigners, Zampa should be the 4th foreigner. I don't know why Zampa's not playing, because you've got two spinners in Chahal and Washington, and they've only taken 4 wickets. So they've only taken 4 wickets, and you've been playing in Chennai. So why did you not play Adam Zampa? I know there could be some personal issues because he came late to the party and stuff like that, but you definitely want to play Adam Zampa and Adam Zampa in the team, and that would then you could even drop Chahal, or you could drop Thingy and play Paddikat. So I think that's probably a bigger blow. But Kane Richardson, again, you have to play him, because hopefully he will touch some form. As you see, some of the deliveries that he bowled today, they were really good, and they were getting the batsman on the back foot. So you need that surprise, because Harsha Patel, he doesn't bowl quick. Siraj, is 136, 135, 136 consistently. So he hasn't got the surprise ball. So you look at the bowling attack and say it's not a great bowling attack. Navdeep saying he can't get in the team because he's so expensive. But you look at the bowling attack for RCB. Jameson's come good. So if you look at the start, you say Jameson, you go Jai Richardson, Riley Meredith. Then you probably say Jameson is probably the best one out of those three. But again, he's still 134, 135 maximum. So I think Kane Richardson is definitely a good player for RCB. But the foreign position should be Zampa.
See, I am okay with the Richardson because I saw this stat the other day that in the last couple of years, the number of off-cutters he bowls in the middle overs, he has got the most number of wickets in that zone. He could actually do the role of Liam Plunkett, who used to do for England so well in the middle overs. So RCB now, if they play Richardson for the middle overs, so they have a specialist for every zone. So they have a new ball bowler in Siraj. They have a middle over specialist in Kane Richardson. Then for death, they have Harshal Patel. And they can maneuver other players like for matchups, if there is a left-hander in the top order, so they can open with Washington and Siraj from the other end. And Chahal can be used anywhere as Kohli wants. And then, of course, there's the option of Kyle Jamieson, who I think who should only be bowled in the power play, and then he shouldn't be bowling at the death. His over should be completed before 16th over, because there are people who actually go really badly at death, something like Unadkat used to do. So the first game which he played, I think he picked a 3 for. So the reason behind that was his overs were completed in the middle overs itself. So I think the correct usage, Kohli would know where to use them, where not to use them. Personally, I'm happy that they've used Kane Richardson, because last year he was an important part of the team, but then he had to go and leave because he was going to become a father. So this year finally has got his chance. Good thing that they didn't play him in the Chennai tracks, where he would not have been this much helpful for the pitches would not have been this helpful for him. Here they're playing him because we all know how flat this wicket is, and the players who have more variations up their arsenal only, they can be a bit more successful.
And I say you just look at that though, but that's what I say when the RCBians are jumping around thinking, hey, it's all over, they're gonna have this Sala Nam Cup, whatever they say. I don't know. I can't translate it. I can't speak Malayalam or the South languages. What you do, as a cricket, pundit or fan, you look at the two teams and you compare them to Delhi's bowling, and you look at Rabada, you look at Vokes. Vokes is better than Richardson. Yeah, Rabada is better than Siraj. Noche is better than Harshal Patel.
You can't compare, right? Vokes is a new ball bowler, and Richardson isn't a new.
Kane Richardson. Well, as I said, but the all-rounding spot for the third foreign spot, you look at that, and that's how I just compare them. And then you look at Mishra and Ashwin, and you compare that to Sundar and Chauhan. It's like shopping at Tesco and shopping at Harrods. Delhi Capitals are shopping in Harrods, and RCB are shopping in Tesco, which is the smaller shop. But you look at that, and obviously where the RCB strength is obviously having Maxwell, having De Villiers, and having Virat, and now PADDIKAL. That is where they are really strong. And again, I can't wait till they play Delhi, because I think that will, the winning run will come to an end.
I think on a pitch like Wankhede, they can maybe drop Shahbaz Ahmed and bring in Navdeep Saini, because that would give another dimension to the bowling attack, because you don't need probably 3 spinners at Wankhede, especially when Dew comes in.
No,
then it
one second. Keshav bhai, Shahbaz Ahmed is their number 3 in place of Rajat Patidar. So they can't drop. Then they have to bring ABD at number 3.
Yeah, so even if you drop Shahbaz, so you can probably play Maxwell at 3 and AB at 4, because there is this theory, right, that your best player should face as many deliveries as possible out of 120. So if you're batting Maxwell at 4, AB at 5, and you are pushing Shahbaz Ahmed at 3, so more often than not, that move will not come off, and Shahbaz Ahmed would end up wasting those deliveries, which actually Maxwell or an AB could make more usage of. So I am of the opinion that the top four should be these four, or if at all you have to play somebody, play a specialist batsman, maybe a Mohammad Azharuddin at 3.
Yeah,
I think
Mohamed
I am.
Azharuddin would be definitely a good player for RCB, and I'm looking forward to seeing. There's a lot of talk that Sanju was going to get him for RR, but it never happened. So, but again, as I said, I'm looking forward to some more games. Obviously,
Yeah.
Mumbai Indians, you don't discount them because obviously they're the complete package for me. And then you look at Delhi. I think those two teams are still stronger than RCB. And and I say, the longer this tournament goes on, that will happen. Remember last year in Dubai, Mishi Bai got injured. And now Delhi also have Ishant Sharma and they have Umesh Yadav. So they've got they have the depth in the bowling where they need to improve. If Steve Smith starts firing, then you will see Delhi being very good, because then Steve Smith at 3. And if Prithvi Shaw and Shikhar Dhawan, who's been for me the best batsman in the tournament, it's definitely Shikhar Dhawan. And his fitness level. You look at his fitness level to what he was. He's definitely upped his fitness level. His mental agility on the pitch, the way he's been catching the ball as well. Second to Jaddu he's probably the second best fielder in the IPL as well.
But don't you
I
think this is a question to both of you? Don't you think dropping Chris Wokes was a bit unfair, because he did so well in the opportunities he got, and then I thought if at all he would be dropped, it would be in favor of Norkia. But they still didn't play Norkia, and they dropped Wokes to strengthen up their batting lineup. So was it a bit too
I
hard
think after losing the game before, they had to do something with the batting. But again, they just want to get Smith into form. So once Smith gets into form, then they can drop the helpless Hetmeyer, average Hetmeyer. As I say, I'm not a fan of Hetmeyer, and then they can play Wokes, because Wokes hasn't been given a good chance with the bat as well. He's a very good batsman as well. So you've got that. Last year they had Harsha Patel. Harsha Patel goes to RCB, and
RCB.
they get a better bowler in Chris Wokes coming in. So I think
I think
why not drop both Smith and Hetmeyer and get in Norkia and Wokes all? So you have Rabada, Wokes, and Norkia. So for new ball, for middle overs, for death overs, you have a proper bowling lineup, and Avesh Khan as well.
no,
and
but
Avesh
in the
Khan.
tracks like Chennai, you can't play these many fast bowlers. It will be
Yeah.
They will be underutilized because
I'm not specifically saying for Chennai. I'm just in the longer run. I'm saying.
in the
in longer run,
run.
I think Nokia is must, Rabada is must. You can, I think they need a batter who can take the role of Shreyas Iyer, and that
Yeah.
Steve Smith is the right choice. And Ajinkya Rahane, we lot to talk about. He is the number 3. He can be in the number 3, but he don't have the game of attacking cricket. He can just be an anchor. But after you get set, you play 30-40 balls, then you are required to hit the ball. You make 10 in 10 balls. You are required to make 30 runs. But that Ajinkya Rahane lacks. So I don't think that.
Ajinkya Rahane could only play in place of Shikhar Dhawan. That's the only place he can play. Or if Steve Smith plays, you cannot play Ajinkya Rahane. And I'm a big fan of Ajinkya Rahane, but you can't play him because the only way he can play if Prithvi Shaw is firing, and you just got Ajinkya Rahane to rotate the strike up the top, and then 10th or 11th over he can explode.
You can go other way as well. If at all a situation comes where you have to play Ajinkya Rahane and you don't think he's fitting in that number 3 or number 4 position, then maybe since Prithvi Shaw has that sort of a game where he can fit in at any spot, so put him at 3 and maybe open with Rahane and Dhawan.
Yeah. One opinion I would raise that one point Keshav Bhai raised that with regards to RCB, that your best batsman should should bat at 1, 2, 3, 4. But RCB have tried at 2015, 11, 12, 13 that they went with Chris Gayle and Virat Kohli as an opener, then AB de Villiers at number 3. But that did not happen. With AB de Villiers back at number 5, they have got the depth that if Maxi fails at number 4, then AB could take in the death overs, and that's what happening from the last season. Also, AB taking the role of a finisher than this season, because they don't have reliable finisher at number 5 or 6 for the last 12, 13
agree. But the problem there is what quality of number 3 is Shahbaz Ahmed. I mean, you have a top quality opening combination in Virat Kohli and Paddikal. You have a top quality number 4 in Maxwell. You have a great finisher in AB. But that number 3 slot also has to be utilized, right? So
Yeah,
you can't really expect somebody like a Shahbaz Ahmed to do a role which these 4 will do, right? So either you bring in a proper specialist batsman like a Mohammad Azharuddin, or even a Rajat Patidar who's actually a batsman, right? Shahbaz Ahmed is a bowling all rounder. He's not a batting all rounder, if I'm not wrong. So
yeah,
maybe it's a different approach. They're trying that, we can have a bit of a batting depth, but that batting depth will also come into play only if number 3 is making something out of it. If he's getting out first ball, or if he's wasting balls and getting out before, taking up a lot of time, then essentially, Maxwell is coming almost like as a number 3 only, right? So
yeah.
you want a proper number 3 if you want number 4 and 5
And
to work for you.
Maxwell cannot bat at number 3, so Maxwell needs to come in from
See,
the
that's
12th.
why, just one more point. That's why the innings that Maxwell played the other day from 9 for 2. That's why we rate it so high up the order, right? Because that came in a situation of crisis, and that's not Maxwell's natural game. He curbed his natural instincts, and he took them to a place where then AB could add fire to the total. So AB
Exactly.
played that sort of a freak knock. So that, I think, took a bit of shine from the
Yeah.
Maxwell's knock. But I think Maxwell coming
But
at 9 for 2,
again,
essentially number 3.
you're 100% right. You're 100% right. Maxwell is a batsman that comes in from 12th over to the end. If Maxwell comes in that period, I've watched him a lot in Lancashire and obviously Australia and before. That's where Punjab made the massive mistake. They put all their faith in Pooran, and now we see proper Pooran is a poor run. Yeah, poor run. He's on a 0-0-0-9-0. It's like me phoning India from UK 0-0-0-9. It's crazy. And as I say, I'm looking forward to the tournament. As I say, from a Rajasthan Royals perspective, there's a lot of work that we need to do. I don't think we're going to qualify now, to be realistically, because I just don't think we've got the players. If we had Archer, we've lost our match winners. So for us, best position would be fifth now. I was hoping for a playoff position, but I think Delhi, RCB, maybe Chennai are coming good. You can't discount them, and obviously Mumbai Indians. So that's going to be a good fight for the top 4 positions.
I think we have discussed all those related to the match and all IPL also. So do subscribe the channel if you have not subscribed. Do follow.
This is a very interesting comment. Finn Allen at 3, but
Finn Allen.
they'll have to drop either of Jamieson or Richardson. So then the bowling becomes a bit weaker. But that's only possible if Navdeep Saini is in a good form. So you can drop Shahbaz Ahmed for Navdeep Saini, and you can drop one of Jamieson or Richardson for Finn Allen.
Keshav, Navdeep Saini is only good for looking good in the gym now. So that's what we are seeing on the social media, picking up the weights, doing the modeling. I think his cricketing career is coming to the end. His modeling career and his social media platforms are coming above.
Maybe Paji, maybe he's also thinking to get married. That's why.
Maybe. But we know what happens once you get married. Your form drops down. All right, guys.
What happened with Yuzvendra Chahal also?
Well, TikTok finished him. He got married to Danash.
It also happened with Bhuvneshwar Kumar last year when he got married.
It's going to happen with Bumrah maybe as well. It'll happen with Bumrah as well. So
I remember a player named Suresh Raina. He married a
Suresh Raina, legend, man, legend of the game. I do love Suresh Raina.
Yeah, but that's just for a joke. Don't take it seriously.
No. I know. It's good to have some fun over this, and we do say things in tongue in cheek, but we want all the Indian players to play well, because obviously with the World Cup coming, it's important to assess their form and think. And I've been banging on the drum. I want Arshdeep in the World Cup, a Punjabi boy in the World Cup. It'll be great.
No, it's too early to bring Arshdeep Singh. I don't agree with that, because with Deepak Chahar performing, with Shardul Thakur performing in this international
Shardul Thakur, you can't compare to Arshdeep. Look at Arshdeep in the last two IPLs. The best Indian death bowler is definitely Arshdeep, and that's the reason why Punjab Played so well in the last IPL
Did you
because of
did you
Arshdeep.
did you call him best? So you mean better than Bumrah?
Yeah, Bumrah, of
Oh,
course, is married now. Bumrah is married now. We know Bumrah is married now. It's only down. It's only down. But I loved Arshdeep when he did the Gabbar salute in front of Gabbar. I thought, yeah, man,
Oh,
that's something.
by the way, Natarajan is out of IPL. That's a
yeah,
Oh, is
big
he?
setback. Yeah.
that's a bad
Wow.
news.
Well,
That's a
that's
bad
bad
news.
news. Bad news. But they have Sandeep. I like Sandeep as well. Sandeep Sharma. I'm a big fan of Sandeep Sharma as well. All right, guys, I have
Okay.
to go. I'm very sorry.
Yeah,
It's been brilliant chatting to you, Kashyap and
brilliant.
Dayal. Thank you for inviting me. I've really enjoyed the chat, and we'll definitely do this soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.